Hello, 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 hello. Unusual chat for Monday evening. It's movie club, and we're going to be chatting about The Hand That Rocks the Cradle from 1992, which was like a psychological thriller. So I'll just add Emma and Josh and our special guest Mark in. Hi Melina, hi Larissa. Emma and Mark, I think. Yes, sometimes I find her is sometimes I press join. Hi Emma. Hello
Hi.
Mark. Hello, you okay?
You
Yeah,
Yeah,
can hear you.
can
Let me
hear us on mute.
just add Josh in. There we go. He should be joining soon. How are you both? You okay?
Yeah,
yeah, good.
yeah, good, thanks.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully Josh will be here in a minute. We're going to be chatting all about The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. Yeah. Here's Josh. Hey,
Hi, guys.
Josh.
Hi,
Oh,
how are you?
oh, I'm okay, thanks. I was just reading Narissa's comment saying that my connection or Shelley's, but I think I seem okay. But let me know, like in the comments, if
Oh,
you
really?
can't. Yeah, you know we have this problem every now and again. It's normally me. Like when we did Candyman, that
Oh,
was
That
yeah.
was Candyman.
that was weird.
That wasn't
That
you.
was it was definitely me. Because I realised after I was connected to my mum's
Oh,
Wi-Fi, because my mum lives
yeah.
like on the next door. And yeah, oh okay. Lena said it's okay for her, so we'll get going. Um, so yes, welcome. So we're going to be chatting about The Hand That Rocks the Cradle from 1992, and today we have got Josh. Now, I try and do like little funny things. These might
Oh no.
backfire a bit because I picked like some taglines off like the film thing on the internet, so they might come across like you're like Shelley, that's a bit nasty, but so
Go for it. I'm ready.
It's a
so
roasting going on.
so today we have Josh with us. So the Point Horror Movie Club couldn't believe how fortunate they were to find Josh, but they didn't find him. He chose us. Dun dun dun. That one's not too bad.
Yeah.
And then we have Emma with us. Behind a beautiful face, beneath a dangerous smile, lies a rage that can't be stopped. It's Emma.
So
She's normally
true.
got Mr. Slicey.
He's somewhere around. Oh, no, maybe someone's got in. There's someone in my house.
No. And then our special guest is the brilliant Mark. The only thing I could think of to say to introduce Mark was let's get Mark rocked, but then I thought it might sound a bit weird and it wasn't very good.
Well, at least
Yeah,
you didn't have to take me out to the greenhouse. So that's
well, it was tempting, but yeah, I thought I'd better not. Yeah, so those are our guests. So Mark, our special guest, runs a brilliant website where you review, is it horror films and books, is it?
yeah, films and books.
Yeah.
But reviewing, yeah, so reviewing for Ginger Nuts of Horror. So I'll just get a quick
Oh,
shout out in there for
yeah.
Jim at Ginger Nuts. For anyone that's not familiar with them, give them a Google, have a look. It's great.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, I'll share the link as well after. But yeah, your reviews are always really good, Mark. I love them. And you've been with us before when we talked about, was it Joyride we did?
Yeah,
Oh, that seems like such
Yeah,
a
it
long
was.
time ago. Like,
yeah.
was that? It wasn't last year. It must have been the year before. Oh, times. It might have been last year. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. Oh dear, the time's going too quick. So yeah, so The Hand That Rocks the Cradle then was touted as the fatal attraction of the 90s. Um, ooh. It was written by Amanda Silver and directed by Curtis Hanson. So essentially, it's about when she's assaulted by her doctor, Claire Bartel reports him to the police. And rather than go to prison for his crime, he kills himself. should have gone to prison. And the shock of the accusations and the suicide caused the doctor's pregnant wife, Peyton, to have a miscarriage. Driven mad with rage, so much rage, Peyton poses as a nanny for the Bartell family. Her plan to tear Claire's life apart, seduce her husband, and eventually murder the woman she blames for ruining her life. And interestingly, I read that Rebecca Demornay initially auditioned for the role of Claire and vice versa. So Annabelle, I'm going to butcher the name, is it Sirora? I don't know. Who plays Claire, auditioned for Mrs. Mott. So I thought, oh, that was a little interesting fact, I thought. I can't imagine it the other way around.
No.
So if anyone's in the comments, pop comments up and we'll read them out. So is The Hand That Rocks the Cradle a first time watch, or have you watched it before, or what are your first memories of watching it? Emma?
I have watched it before. I watched it in the 90s, I think, with my best friend Jolene, and we were absolutely horrified. Because we were only young, and we were like, you know, it was crazy to see that sort of thing going on, because all the women in your life, all the, you know, older women in your life, you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, they're all very motherly and nurturing, and here's this woman that comes along, you're like, oh, what is she doing? Oh my God. Yeah, so it's quite a shock for us.
Oh, how old do you think you were, Emma, like when you first saw it?
I must have been 15 or 16, probably. I think, yeah, or somewhere around there. Wasn't very young, but
yeah, it's still quite shocking at that age, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, how about you, Josh?
Yeah, I watched it a long time ago, probably around the same time as you, and it's like I have no memory of it whatsoever. So I was intrigued to watch it again. I think it was one of those films where, in the infancy of the internet, it was on lots of lists for like best movie, psychos, that kind of thing. And so that's how it kind of came onto my radar, was okay, I need to watch this for the psycho. And she's great. But yeah, I just never really felt the need to go back to it until now.
How about you, Mark? Have you seen it before?
I thought I had, but I hadn't. So I think I've definitely seen the greenhouse scene before, you know, on some clip show or something. But no, actually, I didn't remember any of the rest of the film. So it was a first time watch.
Oh, wow. I like how that you thought you'd seen it. It must have just been like you say, like clips that you'd seen or something. Yeah.
I think so. And actually, for the first week after you invited me, I thought I was coming to watch Single White Female anyway. So
that's a good film. Yeah, I do like that film, Single White Female. It is a good one, that. Oh dear. Yeah, so me and my brother, my infamous brother, who was a bad influence, we were obsessed with this film when we was younger. So I think when it came out, it would have been probably 12 or 13, and my brother just used to play it on a loop. There was this one, Indiana Jones, some horror movie that I did find the name of that now I can't remember, and Gremlins.
Unnameable.
Yes, that was it. The Unnameable. That was it. So yeah, just on a loop, and Chucky. So for some reason, this one was like, I know, and the one I always can't say, Poltergeist. The Poltergeist. Oh God, I'm getting there.
That's it.
So yeah, we was obsessed with it for some reason. I don't know why it like captured our attention, especially amongst that like group of films that we always used to watch. But it must have just been something to do with like Rebecca Demornay's character, and we was like, she was so psycho. So yeah, I've got quite fond memories of us watching it quite a lot. But obviously back then, with how young I was, I'd say a lot of it went over my head. Especially, like, I didn't remember any of the starts with the doctor or anything when I rewatched it.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
It's a lot darker than I remembered.
Yeah.
Some seriously dark stuff in there.
Yeah.
There were things that stuck out that I had remembered, but there were bits for me as well that I didn't remember, and I was like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah. And I don't know why, like, there must have been a point where me and my brother just, like, stopped watching it and rebelled and didn't watch it again. And then I've never watched it since until now. So, yeah, interesting. But, yeah, I definitely remember the greenhouse scene and a couple of other things. But the rest had obviously had gone over my head when I was younger. This was put, she first saw it when she was about 12, so about the same age as me, and loved it and still do. And this is I've seen it so many times, whatever that says about me. Oh, I love that. So the film plays on like a home invasion trope, I guess, but in a different way, where the villain is actually invited into the home by an innocent victim. So what are your thoughts on like home
She's so
invasion?
happy just to bring this woman into
She's
her
like,
home. She's like,
come
you seem not freaky.
She doesn't
but you
even
are."
check
Yeah.
the references or
Stranger.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she mentions there was one reference, doesn't she? Which is interesting. I wonder who that was. But yeah,
It's a big
she
red
doesn't
flag
really.
for me.
Yeah.
Anyone walks out in front of a school bus to get a job interview, that's a definite red flag.
Yeah.
That's a no from Mark.
Yeah, definitely. So what are your thoughts on like home invasion style films? Do you like them? Like, is this like mild compared to some horror home invasion? Like, what do you think, Josh?
Home invasion is my worst fear. It's the thing I have nightmares about. Like watching The Fall, the TV series The Fall, that was
Oh,
horrifying.
yeah. That was
Um,
terrifying.
so I don't watch a ton of home invasion films, but the ones that I like are like Panic Room, which are kind of more thrillery. That one was fun, and like High Tension was not necessarily fully home invasion, but it had a home invasion element to it, and that was pretty horrific. So yeah, I think this one's fun because it really is somebody like entering this sort of like hallowed home of the American nuclear family as like a bad seed, and then just destroying it from the inside out. Like, I love that at the end she lands on a picket fence because she has gone in to destroy America. You know, that's like the big grand theme of it,
Yeah.
essentially. So I like that aspect of this version of that kind of trope, definitely.
Yeah, because I liked that ending when she did fall on the picket fence, because there's that line at the start when it's like, do you want the fence to keep people out or keep people in? And I'm like, I like
It's almost like
it.
Solomon did that, isn't it? It's almost like Solomon saved the day in more ways than one. His picket fence did the job.
Yeah, and she is both in and out of the fence. She lands on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I like stuff like that. Oh, how about you, Mark? Do you like home invasion things? Does it terrify you? It terrifies me.
I do like them, but for that reason, that they are quite visceral, as Josh says. You know, it's a fear that actually taps into something that could happen. I know it's irrational that most people aren't going to experience something like that, but actually, it's that, you know, you don't necessarily believe in ghouls and goblins, but yeah, someone could if they wanted to break in, and it's terrifying when you think about that. And I think this one works so well because it's not, you know, it's not someone breaking in with axes and knives and hiding in the wardrobe. It's just that sort of insidious creep into the home, you know, that sort of seemingly innocent person that's just slowly chipping away at what's going on. So, but yeah, no, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. But it's always that niggle in your head, like, what if this could really happen, like with home invasion?
Have I locked the door? Have I locked the windows?
Double check.
I mean, I think I'm going to say my favourite one would probably, I mean, it is, I think it's terrifying, but Michael Haneke's Funny Games. So either version's very good, but the original, I much prefer that one because it's slightly more, I don't know, low budget, grubby, if you like, you know, with for us, you know, in this country at the time, unknown actors. But that is bleak. You know, if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it.
I haven't seen that.
No, I haven't.
It's very. I'm guessing Josh has the slight nod when I mentioned it.
That bad.
Sorry, you can hear squeaking. sharing a room with some guinea pigs.
Guinea pigs. I thought it
Now
sounded
that's
like
a home
guinea
invasion.
pigs.
I thought I was actually doing something outside to a bird, so I just thought ignore it or go away.
They're probably thinking it's tea time.
I was going to
But
say,
yeah,
they're
no,
normally after food.
it's definitely food. But no, I mean that'd be my recommendation. If you haven't seen Funny Games, give it a whirl. But from behind the scenes,
Yeah,
it's
I'll have
very
to watch that one. Oh, okay. How about you, Emma? Do you like home invasion films, or do they terrify you?
Well, I've been burgled 4 times in my life. And so I don't, yeah, it does terrify me. I used to sleep when I was a kid in Southeast London with a letter opener under my pillow that I'd sharpened outside.
Oh
And
my
I used to
God.
sleep just gripping it under my pillow because I was so scared someone was going to come up the drain pipe and get in through my window, because I'd seen my dad get in one day when he locked himself out that way.
Oh,
So I was
yeah.
terrified as a kid. I was just asleep with it under my pillow, gripping it. Yeah, so I'm not. Yeah, it scares the life out of me. It really does, and especially when you've got children, because then you're not just looking after yourself. I mean, you can run away. You've now got to protect these children. I was always paranoid that I would have to defend my kids from somebody breaking into my house. So yeah, I'm like, and so I'm really choosy about who comes into my house. I'm really choosy about all sorts of things. They're not allowed to open the door to anybody, so if they open the door, it has to be because I've said they can, or if I'm out, they have to tell people I'm in the bath. And that's what I did as a kid. If my parents were out, I used to have to say mum's in the bath, you know, if anyone knocked at the door. And I had like bolt, chain, lock, bolt on my front door. So in
Wow.
Southeast London. So yeah, we were wary of people breaking in. Yeah, but where I live now is much nicer. I got the window open upstairs. It's, you know, I went out with the window cracked open. I'm not frightened where I live now. There's so many people around me. There's a good neighbourhood watch, so it's a lot different.
Yeah.
Maybe don't watch Funny Games then, Emma.
What was that, Mark?
I said maybe don't watch Funny Games then, because that might set you back the letter.
I'll be up on that going.
Well, funny enough, Narissa's put about Funny Games, it's intense. She would never watch Funny Games again. So because it's so intense. Oh, I'm like, it kind of intrigues me, that does, but I feel like I'm not going to sleep
I
for like a
want
week.
to watch it.
It's one of my favourite films, but it's not a fun watch.
No. See, I home invasion for me is terrifying. Like The Strangers for me, like it was just enough. That was it. But yeah, I do find it's just something. Yeah, because it could really happen. You know, it's just scary.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Yeah, I won't like it even more after I watch Funny Games, I'm guessing. And Narissa's
Tempted to watch it.
I know. Narissa's put, a while back, my neighbour's drunk friend got the house number wrong and climbed through my bedroom window at 2 a.m. and scared the shit out of me. Oh my God.
Oh, he would be like he could have done that to me.
Oh yeah.
Anything.
Oh my life. Narissa, you need to tell us what you did. Like, what did you do? Oh no.
Oh, that's terrifying.
We're laughing, but we're actually terrified. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
So, no, that would be too much for me. So the director Hanson doesn't take any like plot shortcuts. So we know right from the start who Peyton is and what she's up to. And sometimes the film like even gives us a little bit of sympathy towards Peyton because we get a bit of backstory and stuff. So do you think it was a good choice to be upfront with the audience about who Peyton was and the intentions and the reasons, or would you have liked to reveal later on in the film? Does it make it more sinister that we knew the intent? What do you think, Emma?
I liked that we knew that there was a snake in the garden. Like I like that. I thought that was a good idea. It was the same with Single White Female. We knew instantly because of her actions, what she was. We were pretty much told that this lady had a problem, but we didn't. With Single White Female, we didn't know what was going on with that with the girl who'd the roommate. We didn't know her backstory until the end, or she was revealing it, you know, part way through, whereas we knew that something had gone drastically wrong here, and we knew that what her intentions were from the get-go, that she was psychologically damaged by the whole situation, and she was going to trigger something inside her to do something really evil. I liked it because then we're sitting there on the edge of our seats going, oh no, oh God, oh no, you know, like, oh no, he's not doing that, oh no, that's not the thing, you know, oh, she's done this, and she's, you know, the calculatedness of it is amazing, isn't it? So yeah, I like the fact that we knew.
Yeah. How about you, Mark? Did you like the fact that we knew?
Yeah, no, I would say the same. It makes it more intense knowing what's happened, and that Peyton is basically evil and doing everything she can to make this woman's life a misery. I think if the film wanted to concentrate on, I've forgotten the mum's name now.
Claire.
So they wanted to concentrate on Claire and think about, you know, is she sane? You know, is she crazy? Is it all in her head? Then not telling us would have been better, but I think this worked so well because it was just straight in, Peyton is evil, and it really gets the audience behind hating her because she does such a good job of being insidious, unpleasant and evil, that you do feel sorry for Claire, and you do straight away, you know that bad stuff's going to happen. So I think it works really well.
Yeah, because you're kind of just waiting for it to happen as well. So you're like, or is it going to be now that she's going to like flip it and things like that? How about you, Josh? Did you like that?
Yeah, because I think the mystery isn't, you know, is she crazy? You know, what she got going on. It was more the mystery was, what is she actually going to do? Like, how far is she going to take this? And you're just sort of, because you know she's got evil intent, you're just sitting there watching this escalating series of events thinking, okay, where can this possibly go?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it was a good move to like show all that, you know, 6 months before story, like with the doctor and all that, and then because it does keep you gripped and on the edge of your seat, that you're just like, she's getting more and more like it's just escalating, especially when she sets that greenhouse scene up and you're just thinking, oh no, it's going to go too far.
Isn't that a Hitchcock?
Someone stop her.
Isn't that a Hitchcock thing where it's like, tell the audience there's a bomb? Don't, like, the mystery isn't, is there a bomb? There is a bomb, you just don't know when it's going to go off.
Yeah.
And
Definitely just keep.
They don't know the bomb's there, do they? Like the characters don't know the bomb's there, but you do.
Right.
Yeah. Larissa's put about the person who came into her bedroom. I yelled, "What the beep!" and she cambered back through. She hadn't got fully in. Oh, so she was like half in. I think that's worse. Like, I don't know what's worse, being full in or like half in, and you just see someone there. Oh no!
Oh my God, I can't imagine.
And Larissa said, I think it works. So obviously this was about knowing Peyton's intentions. So I think it worked, gave good tension, and it gives you that helpless feeling and heighten the fear and the tension. So yeah.
I agree.
So some people say this is like Demornay's film, and she's like a wicked treat. Like she gives like those dagger looks at the enemy, and then she like glazes over into the sweetness. So what did you think of Demornay's portrayal as Peyton? Was she scary? Did you like her, Mark?
Yeah, well, I know. I think I started watching this film, I say, for the first time yesterday morning, and when it opens up, I was sat there and I think, God, this looks really 90s. And I was thinking, it's going to be dated, it's going to be a bit cheesy in places. Then the scene with the doctor happens, and you think, Jesus, this is getting a bit dark already. And then I think that the character of Peyton probably makes the film, because Rebecca Demornay makes you hate her. There is that little inkling of sympathy, maybe, possibly, I'm not sure I felt that much, but she portrays it in such a way that it's you just spend the rest of the film wanting that character to get her comeuppance, whatever that may be. So I think she does a brilliant job in that role.
Yeah,
because you just hate her.
Yeah. it's the eyes. It's just like just the way she can change her eyes. It's like it's really scary. How about you, Josh?
Oh, someone that beautiful can only be evil. You know, it's like that's the rules. Sorry. Yeah, she's brilliant. You know, she did so much with so little in terms of like her facial movements. You know, she could flip immediately without even seeming to do anything. From, you know, terrifying to innocent. And I think she's got a bit of that kind of American Psycho thing going for her, where it's sort of like she looks like this sort of angelic, perfect person, but underneath it's just like rotten.
Yeah, she's as I say, when I was younger, I think she's the one who drew me and my brother to the film, because the way that she just plays the role, that amazing. How about you, Emma? Did you like her as Peyton? Well, you know what I mean.
I did. I thought she did a really good job. She was very believable. She'd obviously sat and thought really hard about what losing a baby and your husband and your financial freedom and everything, your home, what that might do to a person, especially someone who has a dark streak, and what they would turn into and how they would do anything to. Because at first we kind of see her, we think she's going to smother the baby and that's it. You've killed my baby, I've killed yours. So at first that's what we thought was going to happen with the pillow when she puts it into the crib, but no. So she's not going to just do an eye for an eye, which is what she thinks has happened. You know, she's going to try and take her whole family, which I think that came across. That definitely came across as I'm going to be the new mum and I'm going to push you out. And as you say, Shelley, like her able to be sweet and then suddenly psycho.
It's in the eyes, like the eyes. You just
how
see
is she doing that?
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing.
when she looked at Solomon, when he caught her breastfeeding the baby, and she looked at Solomon and gave him that look, I was like, oh, that's the kill. That's where that saying comes from. I was like, which was great.
And also as well, you know, the scene when she's smashing up the toilet stall, and like you could tell that really Rebecca Demornay was loving that, a bit of rage. But she really goes for it. She really goes for it with that toilet stall. Like, didn't stand a chance, did it? But yeah, that just showed like the hatred, like even more that she had for, you know, for the, well, not for the family, but for Claire, really, wasn't it? It was for Claire.
It's so, I think it's really bold that she didn't choose to make Peyton like super smiley and bubbly and friendly. You know, even when she first meets Claire, she's not like, oh my God, you know, like super friendly and ingratiating. Right. She's sort of like, she's clenched still, even though she's trying to be sort of like personable. It's really very clever decision.
It makes it more uneasy. It makes you more uneasy. Like, even if you didn't know the intent, like you would still suspect that there was something not right.
Also, I love how Claire basically, she hires her because she wants to build a greenhouse.
I was going to ask you all what you thought of that. It's like they need a nanny, but it's because she wants to build the greenhouse. That was right, wasn't it? That's why she wanted
she wasn't going back to work.
I'm going to be so busy with the greenhouse.
No judgment.
Well,
it's a big greenhouse.
Big one,
Larissa's put I thought it was a cat at first, and then no, it was a human foot, so about the person coming through the window. She's also put Demornay is amazing. I love her. She's really good in this film. Melina's put she does ice cold so well. That playground scene threatening the boy was so understated and unhinged. Like, but that scene was quite funny though.
The kid is so happy.
The kid just like, it did make me laugh. And the missus put the breastfeeding scene. And I thought that was something to do with her work. Oh, so the greenhouse was something to do with her work. maybe that's why
I
she
think she was
wanted to do it.
volunteering, wasn't she? Was she volunteering at that other place, the nursery?
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah, yeah.
So
Because
I thought she
she's a
was
virtuous
volunteering.
person. She's charitable.
Yeah.
I found her slightly ridiculous, Claire. But anyway.
Well, I saw a few reviews about Claire, and they were saying, "Oh, she was so irritating with her," and I was like, "Well, she's got asthma." You know.
Do you know that really for me, I looked at that asthma, and she didn't get asthma from getting out of breath from
No.
exercise. You know, I've got two in my house with asthma, and it only comes along if Holly's eaten dairy, and then she shouldn't have, and she gets a bit phlegmy, and or if she's running in PE, or you know, Chris is the same. And I'm like, how is she getting asthma from stress like that? I don't know if anyone else gets it that way, but I've never seen that in an asthmatic. I've never seen stress trigger an asthma attack. So
like,
yeah, that
like
was
a panic
interesting for me.
attack. It was more than asthma.
More of a panic, wasn't it, than asthma?
Yeah.
So I'm like, she's taking her asthma pump. I'm like, this is not asthma. This was a panic. Yeah.
She got an asthma attack from losing the envelope, but not from having a mad woman in her house who's just broken her husband's legs and is trying to stab her and steal her children. And that was the whole setup to make, to have that, dramatic ending when she's not having the asthma attack. But yeah, I found that quite funny. But
no, there is a few people. I've seen a few reviews and that, and people have always commented on the asthma thing. And that,
why
like
was
they
she
say,
puffing it into an open mouth? Like,
yes,
I've never done that with my inhaler.
I thought you had to.
Yeah.
Oh, you've got an inhaler.
You suck it down, don't you?
Yeah. You're gonna suck it down. Yep.
Yeah. Nerissa's put maybe a little bit of panic. My daughter gets it from cold, so so maybe it's
maybe Claire knew from the beginning. She was just bluffing. Pretend asthma.
Yeah. The whole time.
Oh dear. So the film also paints a depiction of people with disabilities. So do you think for its time, so bear in mind this was the 90s, for its time, do you think that was done well? Josh?
Why are you coming to me first?
Oh, sorry.
No, I thought Ernie Hudson did a great job. I thought he was incredibly sympathetic.
Yeah.
He didn't play it for camp. He didn't play it for stupidity or anything. I think he played it really, really well. And the film actually treats the character quite well, I thought. His disability is kind of used as a plot point because it's sort of like no one's going to believe him. It's the kind of plot that you maybe normally give to a child. But I think they did it quite well, and I like that they gave him his sort of hero moment at the end as well. So I think that. It kind of worked, to be honest. Yeah,
I really loved it at the end when he was there at the end, like, Solomon. How about you, Mark? Do you think for its time, they depicted it well? Can't speak.
Yeah, I think they did a good job for the time. And thinking about it, it wasn't, his disability was used for the plot, but actually it wasn't what kind of defined him in a way in the film. And you could have got away with another character who didn't have a disability in the same way. I don't think it would have been quite as believable in some respects when they find the clothing in his little toolbox, because as Josh says, it then makes it, the stereotyping of people with learning disabilities, for example, is easier then for the film to frame him as not being believed and to be taken away in shame. But actually, I thought, I think if they did it now, then the casting would most likely be different, and you hopefully get an actor in the post that with a disability. And the thing that I was quite interested in, it's a very white film, other than Ernie Hudson's part, and I think slight imbalance there. But I think for 1992, he's my favourite character in the film, to be honest, because I think he's actually smarter than the rest of the buggers.
Yeah,
because he knows what's going on straight off. And I love, there was a little touch as Claire, after Claire's finally twigged what's going on and she drives home in a hurry, you get to see Solomon's bike just leaning against the fence. You only see half of it.
Oh.
The new bike bought him, because you see him cycling after the car at one point. And then, yeah, as Claire screams home in her car, you can just see the front wheel leaning up against the fence as she pulls into the drive. And I thought that was a really nice touch. So you're not thinking, oh, Solomon's just been camping in the attic or something, waiting for his moment. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Oh, that's a good spot, Mark. I like that. Oh. How about you, Emma? Do you think it was I can't speak today. Depicted well?
I do. I mean, I've got an autistic daughter, so I often see things that are depicted really badly, and I thought this was really good, even not just for the 90s, but even in general, because as Mark and Josh was saying, it shows who he is rather than focusing on his disability. It's showing his character and how he's kind and he's caring, and he can spot straight away, which is most autistic people can. They can spot the villain straight away, and they'll go, I don't want to be anywhere near that person, and they won't even know them. They'll just know anyway that you're not okay. You're not someone who's got my best interests at heart, or anyone else's, and that's like a gift. But I thought he was just lovely, wasn't he? I mean, he was good with the kids. He could put up a fence. He could do all sorts of odd jobs. He was really handy, really smart. Yeah, and funny, and yeah, and I did love the bit at the end where, at the beginning, you're not supposed to handle the baby, and I felt that was more of the work placement's rule than theirs, like you're not supposed to handle the baby, and then she decides at the end, of course you can handle the baby. You know, it doesn't matter what the work placement says. You've proved yourself to be worthy to look after my children. Thank you so much. You know, and he did say to her, "I'm going to look after them, or you're not going to hurt my family." And he didn't let that happen. So I thought he was brilliant. All round, really, really good.
Yeah. I think, like, if I think back to watching it when I was younger, because my sister has learning difficulties, and it was nice. I think for me and my brother back then, it was nice to see someone portrayed the way Solomon was, because it was like that was our sister, and it was nice to see them being portrayed in a really nice light as such. I know not nice as with what Peyton does, but you know, like the ending and that. So it was nice to see that representation. If I think back to when I was younger, I think that's how we would have seen it. So it was really nice in that respect when I was younger to see that represented, I think. Love my sister.
I think it's
something positive.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's especially effective, it's especially impressive that they did his character so well when they tried to give Peyton a sort of like a reason for why she's so cold and detached. It was sort of like a bit of a Hollywood reason, like, oh, she didn't have a mum. And I know it kind of fits thematically, but it just felt a little bit too sort of easy, maybe. Very 90s.
But do you think she was telling the truth then when she told that story? Because nothing seemed to be very truthful, did it? Yeah, that's what I thought. Maybe she's just trying to obviously get the little girl on side a little bit. And you know, but it could have been true. That could have been the one truth that she told. Larissa's put, he did it really well. So is it Ernie Hudson, wasn't it? Yeah, that's it. Who played Solomon. And that was telling of attitudes at the time that some were cautious, Larissa's saying. So and she also put, I loved how well the daughter did in the final chase. Lots of good thinking. Yeah, the daughter did so well. Yeah.
Emma.
Yes.
Okay.
And Larissa's put, agreeing with you, Emma. He definitely took care with his performance. Yeah. Oh, love him. So talking about supportive people, do you think Claire's husband was supportive and then also the friend who was played by Julianne Moore, but I forgot what her name was now. It's gone out of my head. But do you think that they were supportive, Mark?
I was thinking about this. I kind of don't think they were supportive or non-supportive. They were just, I think the husband's role was just kind of there. He was just there as a convenient foil for a few of Peyton's plans. I don't think there was a particular point where I thought, my God, you're not being helpful at all, or they didn't play it up so that he was being seen to not believe his wife at all. When Peyton is revealed to be who she is, her husband's straight there by her side. So I don't know. I found his character wasn't quite as rounded. It wasn't quite as well formed as some of the others in the movie. But it was quite nice because it's that reversal that normally it would have been the husband that was the focus of everything, and the wife would have been the one in the background doing the little supporting bits like planning the party, etc., etc.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I never got the feeling that they were either way particularly, but that might.
They were just kind of there, really. Yeah. How about you, Emma? Did you feel anything about the husband or the friend? Were they supportive, or?
I thought he was a bit of a wet blanket, but I felt that he was a supportive husband because all the other men were sort of drooling over the nanny. That was emphasised quite a lot, and he was the only one kind of obviously noticing that she's attractive, but not kind of thinking anything of it. He only had eyes for his wife. Which normally, the husband always gets dragged into it some way. And I wondered I couldn't remember whether or not he had been dragged into it, and he hadn't, which I thought that was quite good. And I think obviously her friends, her bestie, was a great character. I really liked her, and that she was a bad influence on her husband. Because that really made me laugh. I was like, she's making him smoke. It's good because that obviously again was a plot device. That's how we knew it was well thought out. That's how we knew how she got muddled up and thought that he was having an affair with her because of that. Which but I just think, like Mark said, he was a bit of a freestanding lamp, as we call women in that same role. Wasn't really doing much.
How about you, Josh? What did you think of those two?
Yeah, I mean, he had a very impressive beard and he had lovely blue eyes. But he was, I think he's just sort of like a typical of that era dad. He went out to work, he came home. He expected Claire to be the mom and do all the mom stuff. But he didn't, he was sort of supportive within the restrictions of the roles that they were in, I thought he was fine.
Yeah, he did have a very precise beard, didn't he? It was very...
perfect.
He was shaving it in the beginning.
Nerissa's point, it was quite the beard.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like Nerissa says.
I liked that.
No, go on.
I liked the bit of continuity where the woman in the park tells Peyton the baby has your eyes, and Peyton and the husband both have the exact same colour eyes. So that was just like a nice little touch.
Oh yeah, forgot about that. The only thing that thinking about the woman in the park, it kind of took me out of it a little bit, was because they'd lived in that house and that community for quite a few years. They hadn't just moved in. So how did people not know that, know about that they had a nanny, or know that, I don't know, there was just some things I thought, wouldn't they know unless she went somewhere completely different to the park to take the baby or something?
Unless that woman knew.
Yeah, unless
she went to the crazy park. Crazy people.
Crazy park.
But that other woman wasn't actually the mum either. She was a nanny also on the plot.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, that's
they were playing their own game.
Yeah. And Nerissa's put, Julianne Moore's character did get on with the snooping, to be fair, like towards the end.
I loved it. It's because of wind chimes. It was just brilliant.
Yeah.
And all the wind chimes.
And Nerissa's put about the husband, he wasn't bad, glad he wasn't over the top get a grip, like you know, like in a point
Yeah.
horror they go get a grip, you know, like type of thing. He was quite level-headed and quite calming, really.
Yeah, like don't
Yeah.
worry about it. Don't worry, it's fine. He was not like that, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, definitely. So did we've named some of our favourite scenes. So did you have a particular favourite scene that that you really liked, Emma?
Yep. And I was like, and I'd forgotten about it. And when she came home and she walks up to Peyton, Claire, and she just punches her straight in the face.
Oh yeah, it's like
And that. Yeah, it was just nothing said, just bash straight in the face. And I wasn't expecting it, so I thought that was pretty cool.
oh, I like that. How about you, Josh? Did you have a favourite scene?
The greenhouse, 100%. I loved that whole sequence was brilliant. You know, when she's investigating and then she figures that out and then she tries to make a phone call. And I love that she has to go to a microfiche computer thing to like look at the newspapers. It's just brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And then it just culminates in the greenhouse, which is brilliant. Loved it.
Yeah, I like that scene. How about you, Mark?
Well, I mean, the punch was very good, and the greenhouse is fantastic. I think I'll probably cheat a little bit and say talk more about a sequence, and I think the ending of the film. I say because I hadn't seen it before, it was completely new to me, and actually, you know, there were some little twists and turns. You kind of know Solomon's going to come back. You know, it's going to be a happy ending from the type of film it is, but actually. You know, the little twist with the asthma, you know, when the husband goes down into the basement because the radio is playing, there's a couple of little jump scares and you think, oh, she's going to be behind the door and she isn't, and all those little things. It was a nice ending to the film, and it was over fairly quickly as well. It wasn't laboured. It wasn't, oh, you know, she's fallen down the stairs and she's got up again, or she's got a knife in her side and now she's got up again. She wasn't the Terminator. This was a deranged woman that, you know, got chucked out of a window. So I was waiting for that Halloween-esque shot of the garden and the crushed fence with no body on it. But yeah, it was just, I just liked the way that ended, tied everything up quite nicely.
Yeah, and I think I'm the same. I love that greenhouse scene, but there's also like a shot that I really like. Well, I say really like, it's going to sound cruel, but you know, when Claire's had the asthma attack and then the camera just lingers on her lying on the floor, kind of going like that.
Oh, yeah.
That was terrifying because you think it's only going to last a couple of seconds, but the camera lingers there for so long, and like you almost like want to look away from the screen because it looks that like awful to watch, but it does linger on her for quite a while and just makes you feel really uncomfortable, I thought. So I just thought for a shot, I thought that was quite clever because every time you expect it to move, it doesn't go. You're still staring at her on the floor. So
like a goldfish gasping for air, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you didn't know whether she was actually going to die then and there.
Yeah,
that was a good one, Shelley.
Yeah, and her lips were blue. But it's just the way the camera, it doesn't move. It just literally stays on her for so long, or it feels like a long time because you feel so uncomfortable. And I kind of liked that. I thought, oh, that's quite clever. So Mark, you mentioned about the end. So why do you think that like movies have to have like ending like a big fight scene? It's a big thing all the time, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's catharsis, isn't it? You know, you've built up that hatred of Peyton through the whole of the film. You want to see her get her comeuppance. You want to see the good guys prevail. So if, you know, Claire had punched her and Peyton had just said, oh, okay, fair cop, I'll leave you alone, you'd have just sat there and thought, I've just wasted the last hour and 3/4. I would have smashed the DVD and just thrown it out the window. But you want to see that fight. You want, you know, part of you knows that it's going to end okay for the family. You know, it's 1992. They're not necessarily going to slaughter children. You know, I was a little bit worried for Solomon, to be honest. I thought, you know, they could have used Solomon in that way, and I'm glad they didn't, because again, that would have ended with the DVD in pieces in the bin. But yeah, it's just that it's like the champagne bottle, isn't it? You're just an hour and 40 minutes just building up that pressure about who Peyton is and what she's doing and how she's trying to destroy this family, and then it's that final hurrah when the champagne cork goes and you get what you want, which is to see, you know, Claire prevail over this demented witch who's invaded her home.
Yeah. What do you think, Josh? Do you think we always expect a big showdown, like in the horror or thriller now? Yeah, it's just standard.
Yeah.
Like, we'd be disappointed if it wasn't there.
I do wonder if the film was made today, I wonder if they would have had more of an ending that fitted what had gone before. You know, more of a subtle, sort of unnerving payoff rather than like a big blockbuster, you know, crash bang wallop kind of style. But can I tell you my interesting fact?
Yeah.
This film, because it blew my mind. So Amanda Silver, who wrote the script, she also wrote a film called An Eye for an Eye, or Eye for an Eye, which is Sally Field hunting down someone who killed her daughter. So obviously a very similar kind of idea, like domesticity and stuff. But then she went on to work on the script for Jurassic World, and then her most recent credit is Avatar 3. No, Avatar 2.
No.
So she's gone from doing these sort of domestic thrillers to huge blockbusters.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Maybe,
that's good facts.
Yeah. Which maybe the ending
that's
tells
incredible.
us.
Oh, no, I love that.
That's
I like how she's just gone like up and up and up. How about you, Emma? Do you like a big fight scene at the end?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you always want the same with Single White Female. You want to see the two women face off. You know, you want to root for your hero. Sometimes you want to root for the bad guy or the bad girl. So yeah, I'm trying to think now if there's anywhere that the baddie actually came off as the one that people like better and they actually won through, and I can't think of any thrillers that happens in. I don't know, I can't, off the top of my head I can't, but you know, like you know, Misery and things, that all those types of thrillers, you want to see the person escape the clutches of the psychopath. Yeah, so like everyone else has said, I do like a big bang of it, and that one was great because she was just whacking that shovel. I mean, really looked realistic, didn't it? She was really swinging that, and I thought, oh my gosh, that looks really realistic. Like, she's really going for it, and I don't know, I was blown away by it. I just thought the pacing was right, everything was right there.
Yeah, I agree, definitely. Oh, we got some feedback, I think. I'm not sure who it is. I'm not sure.
Blurry.
You're really blurry. Josh and Shelley are blurry.
Mark, just mute. Could you know how to mute?
There should be a button.
Sounds like someone's got some rock music playing.
Yeah.
I haven't got a mute button.
No.
How do I?
Oh, don't worry, we can put up with it. Okay, Mark, I'll tell you when. I'll tell you when. I feel bad having to mute Mark. Oh,
Still happening now.
Yeah. It's not.
I can't hear anything.
Oh, can't you?
No, I can't hear any feedback at all.
Oh.
Can you hear it, John?
Yeah, I can hear it.
I thought it might be my mobile phone being too close, but...
Then it got better then, whatever you did then.
I'll chuck it over the other side of the room.
Okay.
That works?
Oh, it's still there.
I can't hear anything.
Still there a little bit.
Okay, well, I'll myself.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Mark, I promise. Oh, bless you. So what are some of your favourite thrillers and why do you like them? Emma?
Well, obviously, Single White Female, Misery, Flatliners. That's brilliant. The Good Son. Did you ever see that one with Macaulay Culkin and Elijah Wood?
Oh no!
Oh, that was freaky because was about two boys, and one of them was evil, but you didn't quite know which one was evil. And then it slowly unraveled. Yeah, The Good Son, that's a really good one. And the one you think is evil is not the one that's evil, and it's it's a little bit. Yeah, it's a really good movie. I haven't seen it for years, actually. That has to be one that goes on the list, because I can't quite remember it, but I remember being absolutely thrilled by it. So yeah, I like the old thrillers. I don't really watch a lot of thrillers, I'm going to be honest. I watch more horror. But when I do, then I normally really enjoy them. So I know it's because someone's recommended, and so then I've gone into it because of recommend, and so I always enjoy what I watch. Yeah.
And Nerissa's put The Good Son was written by Ian McEwan. Little fact for you.
There we go.
I need to watch that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. How about you, Josh? Any favourite thrillers? Any recommendations?
I do love a 90s thriller. There's something sort of like really lovely and like weirdly cozy about sort of that era of thrillers where they're like enormous stars, all the stunts are being done for real. I'm just thinking about things like Speed, you know, just like, I just love the in-camera stuff. I just think it's so great. But then you get things like the John Grisham adaptations, which are like the kind of courtroom style things.
Pelican Brief and stuff, The Firm.
Exactly. But I think like one of my absolute favourites, which I haven't seen for a while, but I love it, is Basic Instinct.
Yes.
And, you know, it's obviously super raunchy and everything, and everyone gets really hung up on all the boobs and everything. But I think that it's just such a great mystery. It's such a great idea, the idea of, you know, of an author who writes about a murder and then she gets accused of doing the same murder in real life. And I just think she's such a great character. And that's an example of the mystery existing purely circling around if she's a killer or not.
Yeah.
Which is clearly what they didn't do in this film. But it works so well, and they almost leave it right to the final frame of the film before they actually reveal if she is a killer or not. It's like a perfect film.
Yeah, see, I haven't watched that for years. That's the one with the ice pick deaths, right?
Yeah.
Oh, see, this is why I'm obsessed with ice pick deaths. I think it's because of Basic Instinct. You just triggered like a memory, right? Because like we've had a few ice pick deaths in Point Horror recently, and I'm like, yeah, ice pick deaths, and this is why, because of that film. I think that's what it is. How about you, Mark? Have you got any favourite thrillers?
Well, I was trying to think, because I always get confused by what's thriller, what's horror. You know, sometimes there's a bit of crossover, but just I mean the comment there, 90s thrillers are great. They are. And I think going back to what Emma was saying, actually thinking about those antagonists that aren't nice people, but actually you do root for them. I think one of my favourites is probably I haven't watched it for years, and maybe I should watch it again. Was Falling Down with Michael Douglas.
Yeah.
Just wants to go to work and see his kids.
Yes. Brilliant.
It's just that building of tension all the way through, and you don't get that massive ending that we've just talked about, but you do get that sort of champagne cork release still, because that the tension that he's experiencing you've built up with him, but it does release at the end, just not in the way you wanted. But there's other classics like Seven,
another good one.
Aspects of Seven, and Michael Douglas again. The Game was one I really enjoyed. When I saw that one. So yeah, there's just so many, isn't there? That's the thing. It's just that I think the 90s were a great era. As Josh said, all the sort of courtroom, John Grisham, The Fugitive, those sorts of films were just great because it was all, as you say, done in camera. Great, mega stars at the time. Just good fun.
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Oh, bless you, Mark. Definitely agree with that. Cape Fear as well for me is one that I really, really like, and Single White Female, which we mentioned earlier. Those two I really remember. Sorry, Emma.
Shelley, if you want a true one, I don't know if you've seen this. If you want one it's a true crime story and it's got Kate Winslet in it, and it's called Heavenly Creatures. Have you watched that?
No, I've not seen that.
Brilliant.
That's based in my home from home, Christchurch in New Zealand, and it's about two girls, one from the UK and one a Kiwi, and they commit they get really close, and in those times you're not allowed to get close like that, and they commit murder to kind of stay together. It's absolutely eerie. And I think it was Peter Jackson, was it Josh? Peter Jackson one, wasn't it? Yeah.
Melanie
Yeah,
Linsky
that's a true one you'd like, Shelley.
Oh, I'm going to check that out.
Oh, the other girl is Melanie Linsky.
Oh,
yes, that's the other girl. Yeah, brilliant actress.
And Melina's just said Heavenly Creatures is brilliant. Yeah, I've never seen that. Oh, okay. I'm on it. I'm going to watch it. Oh, yeah, Larissa said Melanie Linsky is a good one, Shelley. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. Thank you. I like some recommendations. Then I go away and like just make a big list and then just try and watch them all. So last question then. So like with most 90s films we've mentioned, there was quite a satisfying but abrupt end, and then obviously the credits start rolling. So what do you think happened after the credits start rolling? Was Peyton really dead? Did the police come? What happened to the family? Emma?
I think she's dead because we didn't get a sequel. That's my reasoning. So I think she probably is dead, and I think the family might have moved out of the house because I don't think they could have stayed in there, especially when the woman was sitting in that nursery that she'd made like her own nursery for her baby that she lost, and she was breastfeeding her kid, which is just absolutely gross. And you know, the doctor had assaulted the woman, Claire, and then she assaulted Claire's baby, and I was just so I think they'd have to move out. I think that's what they'd probably do, move away. I'd say.
I think they would have moved away. How about you, Josh? What do you think?
Oh yeah, she definitely is alive, and she is now gonna, I don't know, become a clown. I don't know, she's gonna do something.
I like that.
A children's entertainer.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something completely different.
Yeah.
Different way to see the baby.
How about you, Mark?
Well, I was going to say I was the same as Emma. I think she's dead and they've just moved house and they've gone away. But now I'm thinking, maybe we should have had a sequel where she was paralysed from the waist down and being kept in the Bartels' basement as their prison. Police never knew anything about it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's dark. Dark, Mark.
In all reality, I suspect they probably just they moved away to get away from it all. It's always a question you ask any horror or anything like that, especially the ones that end messily. You just think, I'd love to know what happens. You know, what do you say to the police when they turn up at your house and there's 15 dead bodies on the front garden? It's always fun with the possible alternative ending.
Oh yeah, I like that. So another film I just suddenly thought of was Pacific Heights. Did anyone ever see? I can't say it's Pacific Heights. Yeah, that. I think it's got Michael Keaton in it and Melanie Griffiths. And he's like, they've got this house, and then he moves into the house as like a lodger in like the downstairs apartment, and then all these things start going wrong, and he's basically like causing havoc and things. It's really eerie. I always remember that one. Yeah,
that's going on my list.
Yeah, it's a good one. I liked it. I like Michael Keaton anyway. So, but yeah, thanks guys. So overall then, did we like The Hand That Rocks the Cradle? So we'll just do a little thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah. Oh, it's a good choice. I think Emma suggested this one this month, I think. So good choice, Emma. Yeah. But yeah, thank you, and it was really nice revisiting it, so I really enjoyed it. But yeah, do check out Emma and her brilliant short stories in these books. Woohoo!
I think Mark might have one in one of those too.
Oh, and Mark has got one in here as well.
Very blurry, so I can't see it.
Twisted 2, Mark. I was thinking about it.
In Twisted 2.
Twisted 2. That one?
Yeah.
Yes. I couldn't read it backwards. And obviously check out Josh's books, The Shadow Glass, and upcoming Burn the Negative, which is out next month. Yay! And do check out, I'll put a link up to Mark's blog and Nuts of Horror as well. But thank you for joining in, and thank you for chatting about it, and I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Shelley.
Bye. Thanks, Mark.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.